So today's tutorial is going to be on how to crochet this beautiful mitered granny square. I absolutely love it. It is so pretty, and when you put all these squares together, it just makes a really awesome effect. So let's go ahead and not waste any time. I want to teach you how to make this beautiful granny square. Hi, I'm Darlene and this is Heartfelt Crochets. And this is where I research, I study, I share, and I teach all things crochet. So if at the end of this video you have liked it, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. All right, so today we are going to be making the Mitered Granny Square with these 3 yarns. This one is just a generic economy yarn, and it's called Craft Smart. It's a number 4. They're all number 4 worsted weight yarn. This one is in the color, it says green, but it's more like a sage, I think. And then this one is Red Heart Super Saver yarn, and this is just in the color soft white. And this one is by far my favorite Premier Basix worsted weight yarn. I love, love, love Premier yarns. I'll go ahead and I'll leave that link in the description box below, as well as the Super Saver. I don't have a link to this one though. Like I said, this is a generic, and I just found this one at Goodwill. So we are going to go ahead and start off this Mitered Granny Square with the white yarn. All right, so we are going to start off with a magic ring. Gee, I couldn't think of it for the life of me. Okay, so starting off with the magic ring. I'm going to refresh your memory in case you don't remember how to do a magic ring, or if you have a problem doing a magic ring, this will help a lot. And I noticed there's a shadow, and I don't like it. I pulled my shade behind the window because the sun was glaring in and creating a big shadow, and I have my studio light here, but for some reason it's not giving me very good light. Give me just 1 second and I'm going to see if I can change that temperature lighting. It's on warm. Let's try white. There, that's better. Let's go with that. All right. So we are going to place the yarn over our first 2 fingers, wrap it around, and we're going to crisscross so that this is in the back. Okay. Then we are going to insert our hook under these this front yarn and hook the back piece of yarn. We're going to pull it through, and then we're going to twist. Then we're going to grab that back piece of yarn that is attached to the skein, and we're going to just pull it through. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and grab this yarn and pull it closed a little bit. We're not going to leave it big. Okay, all right, so then we are going to chain 2, so that's a total of 3 chains now, and we are going to double crochet in that magic ring, and another double crochet in the magic ring, and then we're going to chain 2. Now we're going, this is a cluster of 3 double crochets because this chain 3 is considered double crochet now. Now we are going to make another cluster of 3 double crochets. Okay, and then we're going to chain 2, and we are going to repeat that 2 more times so that we'll have a total of 4 clusters. Chain 2, and the last cluster. Chain 2, and then we are going to slip stitch to the top of that chain 3. Now let's go ahead and pull this piece of yarn to tighten up that ring, and so that it doesn't come loose again right off, what I like to do is immediately thread the darning needle and just weave it in around that circle a little bit. And secure that. Give it another good tug. Okay, and then back the other way. And then cut that yarn. Now, if you are someone who likes that open hole in the center of your granny square, then instead of beginning this granny square with a magic ring, you are going to begin with a slip knot, and then you would chain 3 and join to the beginning slip knot to create a circle, and then you would just crochet your clusters inside of that circle, and that would leave a little hole there. But I like a nice clean square with no circle in the middle, and that's why I used a magic ring. Okay, so now we are going to go ahead and we're going to go around one more time. Now there's 2 options that we can do here. We can either slip stitch to the corner and then start our round, or we can chain 2 and turn our work. I'm just going to go ahead and slip stitch to the other corner because I like the back side to be the back side and the front side to be the front side. I don't like the mix myself personally. So I've slip stitched through the tops of the 2 double crochets and into the corner, and then I am going to chain 2, and then I am going to double crochet 2, chain 2, and then I'm going to crochet another cluster in that same square. Okay, and then I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to do another cluster in this next square, chain 2, and then cluster in that same corner space. And you're going to do that 2 more times to complete the square. So chain 1, and then the cluster, chain 2, cluster in this corner, chain 1, and repeat in this last corner a cluster, chain 2, and a cluster. And now we're going to chain 1, and we are going to slip stitch to the top of this chain 2 space, and then chain 1, and we're going to cut our yarn and pull that through. Okay, now let's take just a moment and thread our darning needle, and let's just weave this in a little bit, just randomly in and out of some stitches to secure it. overlap and then go under a few more. And cut that yarn. Okay. Okay, so now we are going to move on to our next color. And I don't think that I mentioned the color before. I was only excited to mention that it was Premier Basix. This is the color Thistle. It's a really pretty light purple. And we'll pull some out. And we are going to make a slip knot this time. For those of you who don't know how to make a slip knot, we are going to just place the yarn across our 4 fingers and wrap it around our first finger, cross it over and hold it with our thumb. Then we are going to take this index finger and thumb and put it through this loop, pull it off this finger and grab the yarn that is attached to the skein, and you're just going to pull it, and that makes a slip knot. Okay, then we are going to insert it into any corner. I ended it with this corner, so I'm going to start it over here in this corner as my preference. Tighten that knot up just a little bit. This tail, we are going to hold it back here against our work, and we're going to pull that slip knot through that corner, and then we are going to chain 2, and then we are going to crochet 2 double crochets in this corner, chain 1, and then crochet a 3 double crochet cluster in this next space, and then chain 1, and then we're going to do a 3 double crochet cluster, chain 2, and a 3 double crochet cluster in this corner space. So that's 1, that's 2, that's 3, and then we're going to chain 2. That's 1 and 2 and 3. So now we just created our corner. Now we're going to chain 1 and 3 double crochet cluster in this next space. Chain 1. And then 3 double crochet in this last corner. Okay, so now you can decide if you want to cut the yarn and then start over here, or if you want to chain 2 and turn your work. But like I said, I don't like the bumpy backside to be flip-flop on both sides, so I am going to cut this yarn, and I am going to chain 1 and pull through. And I'm going to make another slip knot. And now for this round, we are going to go in between this chain 2 and this double crochet. And we are just going to bring that slip knot through, and we're going to chain 3. Okay, we don't have a space to make a cluster, and we don't want to make a cluster here because it's going to end up rounding out into the flat space, and we don't want that. So we're going to chain 3 as 1 double crochet and a chain 1, and then we are going to 3 double crochet cluster in this next space. Come on. And chain 1, and then 3 double crochet in this next space, and chain 1, and then a 3 double crochet cluster chain 2, and 3 double crochet, cluster in the same corner space. And we're going to chain 1 and 3 double crochet, cluster in the next space. And chain 1 and 3 double crochet, cluster in the next space. And chain 1. And then over in this space here, we are going to go in between this double crochet and this double crochet. The last 2 double crochets, we're going to go in between and double crochet. Okay. Okay. So now we are beginning to get that mitered look on these 2 sides. I'm going to cut the yarn, chain 1 and pull through. Now let's just take a minute and take this top yarn and thread our darning needle. We're going to weave it down in and out just to meet this bottom yarn, but we're not going to pull because we don't want it to bend over. We don't want it to round. And then we're just going to create a slip knot. So to create a slip knot, this is how I remember it. Right over left, and then you're going to pull it through, and then you're going to take the left one and put it over the right one and do the same thing and pull it through. And that's a square knot, okay? Then we are just going to thread our darning needle with both those strands, and we're just going to weave it down through a little bit just to tuck it out of the way, give it a little bit of an extra security, and snip that yarn. Okay, and let's just get these a snip and get them out of the way. Keep a nice clean square. Okay, so now we are going to switch to our green yarn. And again, make a slip knot. And we're going to start at this corner. We have a space here, and we're going to end up bringing that slip knot through that space, again holding this piece of yarn at the back just to hold it and get out of the way. And we're going to chain 3 again. No, I'm sorry. We have a space here. So we're going to chain 2 as 1 double crochet and then 2 double crochet in this space. And then we're going to chain 1. And 3 double crochet, cluster in this next space. And chain 1. 3 double crochet, cluster in the next space. And chain 1. And then we're going to repeat and do the 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet in this corner, and then chain 1, 3 double crochet in this space, chain 1, 3 double crochet in this space, chain 1, and 3 double crochet in this space. So go ahead and do that, and I will meet you back here when you're finished. Okay, I'm in the last space, so 3 double crochet, chain 1, cut the yarn, pull through, slip knot, in between this chain 2 and this double crochet, pull the slip knot through, chain 3. And 3 double crochet in this space, chain 1, and repeat around as we did for this last round for 1 cluster in the spaces and the 2 clusters in this corner. Okay. Okay, our last double crochet in that space, that last cluster, chain 1, and then 1 double crochet in between these last 2 double crochets. And then we are going to cut our yarn, chain 1 and pull through, and thread our darning needle. Weave it in and out just to the corner to meet, just to the bottom to meet this other strand of yarn, and we are going to make a slip knot, a square knot. Thread the darning needle. And we're just going to weave it down in to tuck it and get it out of the way. A little bit of extra security. And cut that. And let's just cut these, get those out of the way. And that is our, see, I don't like the way that little bump, it's because that stitch, oh look right here. Let's take care of that. Let's just cut that because that made it look kind of funky. So let's get that out of the way. All right, there we go. So now we have this beautiful mitered granny square. When you put a bunch of these together, it's a really neat effect. I hope that you like this tutorial. Please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more of my videos. And don't forget to hit that notification bell. And until next time, bye.